Good day everyone, this is Aldrin D. Gerolaga, and in this video, we will going to talk about the topic related to solving real life problems through reasoning and statistics. So in this video, we will going the title of this PowerPoint is improving household waste segregation in Ugnayan, Sikap, L.P.C City. So let's have a brief discussion about the topic. So, despite existing local ordinance and collection schedules for segregated waste, for example, biodegradables, recyclables, and residuals, household in Barangay Talon 1, Las Piñas City is consistently mix their waste, leading to a high volume of unsorted garbage collected by the local government. This is directly contributed to overflowing landfills, reduces efficiency of recycling efforts, and poses environmental and public health risks. Now let's move to problem explanation. So in Las Piñas, wrong waste segregation practices in households can be attributed to several factors, including lack of clear information and convenient sorting infrastructure, insufficient education and awareness, inadequate waste management infrastructure, limited community engagement, and inconsistent implementation of waste management policies. Many residents may not fully understand the importance of proper waste management or segregation, or let's say their lack of access to suitable waste sorting facilities. To address these issues, potential solutions include implementation of educational programs to raise awareness, providing accessible waste sorting facilities, strengthening community engagement, improving waste collection services, and enhancing policy implementation. By consistently enforcing waste management regulations and promoting community participation, Las Piñas can encourage proper waste segregation practices and work towards a closer and a cleaner, healthier environment. Now, let's move to the question, why is it important? Household waste segregation is crucial in community as it plays significant role in environmental protection, proper waste management, and conservation of resources by separating waste into different categories. Communities can reduce pollution, minimize health risks, and promote sustainable practices. Segregation enables efficient waste collection, transportation, and disposal, which in turn reduces the risk of waste accumulation and associated environmental and health hazards. Additionally, segregating recycled materials helps conserve natural resources, reduce the need for raw materials, and can even generate income and employment opportunities through recycling and waste to energy initiatives. Overall, household waste segregation is a simple yet effective practices that can contribute to a cleaner, healthier, and more sustainable community. Now let's move on to the next slide. How can we assure or plan this out to solve this problem? Here is the Polio's 4-step process. So first, you are going to understand the problem. Then, what is the core issue? So the core issue is households are not consistently separating their waste, biodegradable, recyclable, residual, before collection. And next, why is it a problem? It results in a more waste going to landfills, reduced recycling, composting rates, increased disposal cost, and environmental health hazard. So, understanding problem, what are the contributing factors? So, number 1, lack of clear understanding of what belongs in which category. Number 2, inconvenience, like lack of space and multiple bins at home. Next, lack of perceived benefits of enforcement, etc. So, what are desired outcomes. So the desired outcomes of this understanding problem is increase the proportion of properly segregated waste collection from household. Now, here's the interpretation of data analysis plan. So let's start with calculate descriptive statistics, mean, median, mode for the percentage of waste correctly segregated. From waste audits to establish baseline, analyze the frequency of response from surveys. What percentage of people are aware? Identify correlation. Is awareness linked to a better segregation rates? Propose interventions. Initial target information campaigns, flyers, social media, barangay meetings. Next, distribution of clear segregation guides with examples. Pilot programming for providing multi-compartment bins, improved and inconsistent segregated waste collection schedules. Community incentives for high segregation households. That is for data analysis. Now let's move on to the carry out plan. This is the data collection and the data analysis. Let's simulate conducting waste audits on a sample of 12 households barangay in Ugnayan, Sikap for 1 week. Our focus will be on the variables, percentage of waste correctly segregated out of total household waste collected. This is quantitative continuous variable. So, let's move on. Our population, all households in Ugnayan, Sikap, Talon 1. So, our sample is, we will going to choose 12 randomly selected household for waste audit. So this is the data points, percentage of waste correctly segregated. So, number 1, 45%, number 2, 60%, number 3, you have 30%, and so on and so forth. So, the frequency, we can also group this percentage to see their frequency. So, here's the result. 30 to 39%, two household, which is equivalent to 30 to 35. Number 40 to 49, 3 households, 45% to 45%, 40%, and 45% again. So, 3 households has the 55%, 50%, and another 50%. And for 3 households again, 60%, 65%, and 60%. And lastly, a single household has the 70%. That is for the carry-out plan. So here's the interpretation. On average, only about 54.58% of waste generated by the audited household is correctly segregated. This indicates a significant opportunity for improvement. This is for the mean. As for the mean interpretation, half of the household segregated 50% or less of their waste correctly, and half segregates 50% or more. The median is slightly lower than the mean, suggesting that while there are some higher segregation rates, a larger portion of households might be clustered around or below the 50% mark. That is for the median. The most common segregate rates observed in our sample are 45% and 50% and 60%. That's 3. This indicates that there isn't one single typical segregation behavior, but rather 3 common levels among households. This insight is valuable as it suggests that different segments of the community might be require tailored approaches, or that there are common obstacles encountered at this specific performance. So here's the result summary. Our next slide for the result summary. Let's move on. Our simulated audit revealed an average waste segregation rate of approximately 54.6%. The median is 50%, and we have multiple modes of 45, 50, and 60%. That indicates varied segregation behaviors across barangay. Our target waste was 70% proper segregation. And here's the evaluation of the solution. The next step. Here's the problem confirmation. The data clearly confirms that waste segregation is a significant problem in Barangay Talon 1, Ugnayan, Sikap. As the average is far from ideal, our target of 70% insights from measures, the mean, median, and mode paint a picture of barangay where segregation is happening, but inconsistently and often efficiently. The multiple mode suggests that there might be distinct groups of household with different levels of engagement or understanding. Targeted interventions. Since there are 45 and 50% that is common modes, this suggests a significant portion of households are performing at or so below average. That means intervention should target increasing knowledge and convenience for this large group. The presence of the 70% households shows that achieving high segregation is possible. It's possible. And we could study that this household does differently frequency distribution shows us now good number of household that is in the 30% to 40% range, indicating a need for basic education or addressing fundamental barriers. So here is the refinement of plan. Next slide. Refinement of plan. Based on these numbers, our initial plan of education and consistent collection is critical. Meaning, we should also prioritize collecting qualitative data from surveys to understand why households are stuck in this modal percentage. Is it lack of clear labels? Confusing collection schedules? Not enough bins? There are many questions. After implementing educational campaigns and perhaps distributing clearer and guides or pilot bins, we would reconduct waste audits on new sample or the same simple. If ethically appropriate, measures the change in mean, median, and mode. We would aim to see the mean increase, the median increase, and potentially the modes if she's toward higher percentage. And that's it for this topic. Hope you learned something about this video. Again, this is Gerolaga from BS CS15 Suma.